All right. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Tea with Doug G. If you don't know me, my name is Doug Gooden, and y'all, I'm really excited about this week because this week I have a phenomenal guest, Miss Rachael Simpson. Rachael is a phenomenal artist and just creator, and I told her before we started the show, but like I love everything she does. So, Rachael, I'm gonna turn it over to you. Tell the folks who you are, what you do, and the floor is yours.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Rachael Simpson. I'm a senior at the University of Georgia, double majoring in theater and journalism. And I am a storyteller, whether that be poems, plays, narratives, and I'm just coming out with my podcast. So that's a little bit about me.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we will be sure to get into that podcast later on. But Rachael, I think we should just get right into the questions. So without further ado, first question. Never thought I would ask this on this show, but hey, Rachael, I got a question. Have you pooped today?
I did. I surely have. I did about 3 times today. Healthy bowel movements are the best bowel movements. It's very essential to poop every day.
Shout out to Jessica Stromberg, friend of the show, for sending that question in. Rachael, would you mind giving some folks some context as to why that would be our first question of the show?
Of course, man. So anybody that knows me, anybody that's had a conversation with me, that's like the question I ask: have you pooped today? It's always like thrown out at you, and it really came from like freshman year. I got colitis, and I was just not okay. It was just real embarrassing. I don't know if you guys know what colitis is, but it's inflammation of the colon, and I just was having the poops. And it was just like, instead of being embarrassed by it, I was just making everybody else feel embarrassed by it. So it's just been a question that I ask all the time now.
Yeah. It was one of the first things that I learned about you, and it is stuck with me ever since. But yes, thank you for that question, Jessica. Yeah. So next question I've got for us. Rachael, we're both theater people. We both have a deep appreciation for theater. And Ben Tankersley sent this question. He wants to know what musical or play would you say has had a deep or profound impact on your life?
Oh, I have a play and a musical.
Okay.
Musical would have to be The Wiz. I did that production in high school, and it was one of my first like real theater experiences where I made friends, and I'm still friends with all of them till today. And I learned that I really love this kind of art. Like I really loved theater and performance. It was my first time really like being on stage in a different sense from like performing songs or like poems to like being in character. And it was really fun. And a play that had a deep, profound impact on my life would have been A Raisin in the Sun. I love the story. I played the grandmother, and just to be able to tell a Black story was something that was an impact on my life on stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of going off of that, today being the first day of February, it's also the first day of Black History Month. And one of the questions that we got was, who are some Black playwrights that you think more people should know about?
The 3 that came to my head would be Trey Anthony.
Okay.
A play that I love by her is The Kink in My Hair. Another one would be Robert O'Hare. One of my favorite plays by him is Antebellum. Any chance I get to play with that play, I'm playing with that play. And one that I grew to love from George's queer theater class was Shirlene Holmes, A Lady and a Woman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, excellent. Yeah. We asked that question last week with Nala on here, and I think it's such a good opportunity for us to get those artists out there for people who sadly don't know about them.
Right.
So yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, going on with that, Rachael, you're someone who does a lot of things very well. And you kind of have this overarching mentality and more than a brand, just like a theme and a way about you. And one of the questions that I was wanting to ask was, if you had, say, an artist statement, what would you say that is? Or what is the common goal that you're trying to achieve with your art?
Um, the common goal I'm trying to achieve with my art is for people to see me in all of it, like my authentic self. Whether that is me trying to find different characters and create stories for them, tell a Black story, be unapologetic about the work that I'm doing, and for people to gain inspiration in some shape or form from the work that they have absorbed from me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. And kind of going off of that, one of the questions that we got from Jacob Dannenfelter, again, friend of the show, Jacob was wanting to know, who is someone that, in terms of their career, you aspire to follow in their footsteps?
Issa Rae, like Issa Rae and Tabitha Brown. Okay, so
Mhm.
I love me some Tabitha Brown. Oh my gosh, people tell me all the time that I remind her of her, like her spirit, just who she is online. And Issa, with her quirkiness, her like awkward Black girl esque like
Mhm.
aesthetic to her, it's just, I love seeing these women be themselves and create a following of people that love them for them. That's what I aspire to do in life. People to follow and be inspired by you by just being yourself.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I think that is something that we, first of all, just as college students, but also as theater majors, that's really kind of hammered in. You got to figure out what you want to say and how you're gonna say it. Um, as we know, though, some people have things to say that maybe a little a little out there, may ruffle some feathers. And this was a really interesting question to get in. Someone wanted to know, what's your take on insult comics and the role that they play in entertainment and pop culture?
I What's my take on insult comments? I just hmm let me think. I mean, if that's the kind of comedy they want to do, like if that's what they feel is funny, do it. I personally find insult comments funny. I'm
Yeah.
kind of a jerk myself at times. Like I could be a butt munch sometimes, and that's the kind of humor I love. Dark humor, crude humor, rude humor sometimes, and people are very sensitive sometimes to art. So, or
Mhm.
like to just criticisms or jokes. So I think they're necessary. It makes people a little bit more stern, give them a little bit more of a backbone to them.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I was reading this past week about something called this isn't the technical term to it, but someone referred to it as the everyone sucks theory, in that everyone's just got a little bit of terrible person in them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of comedy as a whole, but insult comics in particular. They kind of play off of that fact that everyone's just a little bit a terrible person,
And that's okay.
and that's okay. And that's okay. So kind of staying on this line of, like, people just doing their art and doing art because it's what you want to present. Something that I personally lie awake at night thinking about are these well-known celebrities, well-known actors or performers who sometimes take roles that are really weird or odd. Like, for instance, never in my life would I think of Samuel L. Jackson as the spokesman for Capital One credit cards. So my question for you is, what are your thoughts on these A-list celebrities doing somewhat embarrassing commercials?
I commend them on it. Like, like you have these people that follow you and are inspired by you, and like your viewership, do it. And
Mhm.
like, is it really even embarrassing to them after a point? Because it's like, it's their job, it's their career, it's entertainment. Entertain me. That's what I want.
Yeah. Yeah,
Here for it.
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So kind of going along this line of doing art for what we want to do. I feel like, especially as two seniors in college, we have a lot of pressure to focus on one thing at a time and tackle that. as opposed to maybe looking at the big picture as far as like, what's going to come after that? What will that lead to? And we got a really good question here of do you think that we as a society are too focused on achieving those short-term goals? Do you think we put too much emphasis on get to this point and forget about the other what comes after until it comes?
I think it's actually the opposite. I think we're so focused on the long-term goals that we kind of forget like these short-term goals are here sometimes. Like short-term goals for me would be like, okay, I need to accomplish this today. Like these are my short-term goals. And we focus so much on like, okay, what we want to do in the future, what do we want to do next, what do we want to do after this, after that. And we put all this pressure on ourselves, and it's like, bro, even with COVID, that definitely helped me like slow that down. So that thought process of like, okay, this is what I have to do next. This is what's coming next. This is how I'm going to proceed after college. But it's like, I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. Like,
yeah,
there's curveballs everywhere. So I think we're more focused on the long-term goals of anything.
Yeah, definitely. So on that topic, one of the questions that Jacob sent in, I'm telling y'all, Jacob sent in a bunch of questions. Thank you, Jacob. Jacob wanted to know, how do you come up with ideas for new projects?
I like to read and watch a lot of different types of shows. So it depends on the kind of project. Like certain poems come from either some angst, some anger, something that I want to say in a different realm. I don't really know how to answer that. It's just like based on feelings, I guess I can say is the best way to, based on feelings and what I think I need to speak on in whichever realm I need to get it out.
Yeah, definitely. And on that note, just to kind of give people this plug for Rachael stuff, during the summer this past year, really during the height of the Black Lives Matter protests and movements, Rachael created a lovely poem piece. It's on her Facebook. I highly recommend you go and check it out. Rachael, remind me of the title of it so people can find it a little easier.
The Quiver of the Throat.
Yeah. I highly recommend it. Okay, so Rachael, so here we are. We're both seniors. And one of my favorite things to ask seniors or people nearing the end of college is, how do you feel that you've grown or changed as a person, as an artist, as a human being since starting college?
I am less of a yes ma'am. Like, yeah, I got you. No problem. I got you. Here, you need this? Boom. Freshman Rachael, oh my gosh, she would like run herself dry by saying yes to everything because, as a freshman, you want to be a part of everything. You want people to accept you. You want to like be included and be involved. But like me now in college, I think I've grown in a way where I'm more focused on the people around me and my family more, and just accepting things for what they are sometimes. Like, I think I'm more accepting of myself and the things that I can and can't do, or the things that I'm willing to challenge myself to do. And I think that's growth for me.
Yeah, definitely. I know for me that learning how to say no is a constant struggle.
Yeah.
And I think kind of people misinterpret that as saying, when people say you have to learn how to say no, it's less of you have to learn how to deny certain things and learn how to say yes to yourself or yes to your well-being. Yeah, I think that
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think that's a key kind of mind shift that needs to happen for that to occur.
But I think you see a lot of that now, like even with everybody being in quarantine and working on like their self-care and self-worth. I see a lot of that now, which is like awesome, because before we were always moving. Everything was so fast-paced. Everything was go here, go there, go do this, do that. And then COVID slowed us all down and gave us a chance to like breathe, go crazy, and then like be productive, or then go crazy again. Like it's a whole mix of all of it. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think speaking to, bettering yourself, really checking out on yourself, I think that you, Rachel, have kind of developed this catchphrase, this slogan that really anyone who follows you on social media or knows you, they know this. So I want to know, what was the inspiration behind that catchphrase? And if you wouldn't mind, would you perform it for the people just a little bit?
Of course. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. How y'all feeling? How y'all living? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? I can't. Okay, so I love doing jingles. Like at random times, I got a song coming in my head. Like even when I'm on the toilet, I got like a little jingle coming to my head. Like there's always little songs. And I originally started doing like vlogs on Snapchat of just rants. Sometimes I'm singing just as a way of expressing myself. And then one day I think I was just singing it and it kind of stuck. Like it was in my head for like the whole week kind of thing. And then she just was the song. And I was like, okay, this is how we are. And the reason that it kind of stuck was people were like, I like this. Come on, do it again. Yes. And I really enjoy when people sing it back to me. Like my niece and my nephew, they're 7 and 4, and they'll sing it to me. My sisters will sing it to me, like cousins all over will recite it to me. I'm like, that's just the best. Like something stuck with you that I created. Like that's dope.
Yeah, it definitely puts a smile on my face whenever I hear it. But yeah, so kind of shifting focus to you and your brand or your art. I wish there was a better way to put it than brand, but I think that's the word that we're taught in college, so that's the word that I go with
Right.
usually. So you're about one semester away from graduating, really at the start of this next chapter of life. Where do you see this brand going? Where do you see yourself growing as an artist? What would you say is the pinnacle that you hope to achieve?
Mm, mm. Making people smile and inspiring them to be themselves every day. I think that's what I want to achieve. Like by just allowing people to have this kind of connection, even if it's virtually, even if it's in person, like inspiring others to be their authentic self. That's what I think that's a pinnacle of my brand would be yourself, be proud of who you are, and embrace it 360. Like, yeah, that's what I hope to achieve. If someone can tell me, "Oh, you inspired me today. You were the reason that I was able to do this, this, and that," and want to have conversations and keep conversations happening, I did my work. I did my duty.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. And so, kind of going off of that, you've got such a good outlook on this and such a positive way about you. Jacob, once again, we love Jacob. Jacob wanted to know, is there one place or where do you find this inspiration to try and help people feel better, to try and help brighten someone's day?
My niece and my nephew, honestly, like my little babies. I love kids. Like I really enjoy being around little humans because they're so innocent in their thought and how they like go about life, and they are really who inspire me and my friends and the people that are around me all the time. Like just being absorbed by their energies to continue and grow. Like
Yeah.
it depends. Like the question is so broad for me. Like
Mhm.
inspiration will be like for my kids, inspiration from the things I read, like anywhere, honestly.
Yeah. I get that. I get that. Um, so kind of sticking on this train of what you want to accomplish with your art. Uh, like we said, today is a very special day for you because you're launching your brand new podcast. Really, Rachel, really. Gave it a listen today. I think I linked it in the caption for this video. And people want to know, how'd you come up with the idea for the podcast?
It was inspired by the vlogs for the Instagram. I mean, not Instagram and Snapchat. I would sometimes be in person doing the how you feeling, how you living, giving little daily doses of inspiration. But the podcast was more so for me. I sometimes don't like being in front of the camera, and I don't feel like I'm my full authentic self sometimes because I'm so focused on what I look like. What are you seeing? How are you getting this message from me where it's like, I just sometimes want you to hear my words. And that's why when you ask me what would I describe myself as, would be a storyteller, because my voice, my words, my writing is how I present myself fully.
Yeah, and I think it really is important for us to figure out what's the best way to share that really personal side of ourselves. Because I'll be honest, my friends and I, we started a podcast my freshman year of college, and we did that for 2.5, 3 years, and it really became stale because we all just had characters that we were playing the entire time, and yeah, we got our opinions out there, but it wasn't real. So we had to kind of reshape it and try and be more honest. And now it's a whole lot more organic, a lot more natural. So I didn't write this question down, or at least I don't think I did. I did not. So one of the questions that Jacob sent in is so right now the podcast is just you speaking, and people want to know, is it always just going to be a solo act? Are you going to have some cool guests on? I believe Jacob was implying something when he asked that question, but I could be wrong.
Yes, I do look forward to bringing guests on there. People who inspire me and people who I love, I definitely want their voices to be heard. And I just want it to be a conversation most times too. Like get different voices. So I definitely will be having my 135 family on there. Some friends coming on there soon. Yes, you will be hearing some other voices on here, some other opinions, some other great spirits on there. So super excited for that.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of topics, in terms of stories that you're looking to tell, yeah, this is more of like a general question, but what should people be looking forward to with this podcast?
Crackhead Energy. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll drink to that. I'll drink to that. Amen.
Crackhead Energy at all times. No,
we all need a little bit of it.
Just a little bit, So I do it weekly kind of thing. Like maybe it'll be 3 or 4 times during the week, but based off of how I'm feeling, what's going on in the week, what's inspired me, what sparked something. It can be poems, it can be short stories, it can be just rants sometimes. I'm trying to keep it the same way from the Snapchat vlogs here and there, so you can understand the kind of person that I am. I want to keep it authentic to me.
Yeah. Well, I gave a listen today around 5:30. I don't know why I felt the need to say what
5:30 specifically.
I was going to the gym.
Down. I was listening to the podcast.
I was driving in my car on my way to the gym, and it just it's like a whisper in my head. Listen to the podcast. No, but I mean it. I think we take it for granted sometimes just how impactful just a voice can be. And I really think people take podcast as a whole for granted because it's literally just dozens of voices giving their side of things. And I personally am looking forward to keeping up with that from you. I'm really looking forward to a rant because I've seen some of your rant vlogs on social media, and they always make me smile. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yes, I'm very excited to put those out there soon too. Whenever one comes up, like lately, I've been happy, been very chill, been a little bit stressed here and there with classes, so it's not really ranty yet. But tune in, there will be one coming up. I don't doubt it.
Hey, well, look, only thing I can hope and pray for is that your experience on this show doesn't lead to a rant.
No. Oh my gosh, no. Oh goodness.
Well, Rachel, so sorry, words are hard. So one of the really cool things that you included on the podcast that I felt we really needed to just touch on this. We needed a question for this because I think it's great with this being the 1st of February, Star Black History Month. You mentioned this on your show, but tell us, what are some Black-owned businesses, specifically in Georgia, because the majority of the viewership for this show is Georgia-based. If you're not Georgia-based, come to Georgia.
Don't. The traffic is crazy. Don't come to Georgia. Don't listen to
That's
Doug.
true. Look, stay out of Atlanta. Stay out of Atlanta. It's crazy.
Some Black-owned businesses in Georgia that you should definitely check out. I mentioned 2 earlier was Leah's Little Secret. Is a hair line that my cousin just started. This is a 1-year anniversary today, actually, of her line. I use it on myself. I love her products. They smell so good. Oh my gosh, they're 100% all natural. It does make your hair grow. And I just recently cut my hair not too long ago, and I use the products, and I get upset that my hair is growing because I want to keep cutting it for a second. And I'm just like, okay, you're doing your job. I get it. It's fine. Another Black business I would say would be Royal Health World in historic West End. It's a health and wellness shop. I love the people. They all have their own individual businesses. I shouted out one of them earlier, which was One Lit Souls Glow Moss. I use her products on my face and in my smoothies and in my food. Sea moss on my face to get that glow, and 100% all natural. I'm very big on all natural products. And an artist shout out that I didn't mention earlier that I love her art, her work. She has different bags, shirts, canvases, would be Shannon Crosley's art. Her art is dope too. Her name is Honey Shay on Instagram. Definitely check out everybody's work.
Yeah, definitely. Rachel, if you'll send me links to their stuff, I can put it in the comments or in the caption for this video after we're done. So yeah. Well, Rachel, we've had a phenomenal conversation, and I know I had originally said that I kind of wanted to end it on the podcast talk, but we've had such a fun time, and I really want and a question that I'm very curious to know. What would you say are your top 3 bucket list items?
All right. Crash a wedding.
Oh, yes. 100% yes. Everyone should do it.
Like, I don't know. For some reason, it's just like you see the movie, and I'm just like, yeah, definitely got to do that.
And I mean, it doesn't have to be like a mean thing or anything like that. And I think the actual definition of crashing a wedding is just showing up to a wedding you're not invited to.
That's it.
Yeah, it really chill crashing the wedding.
And then dancing on going on the dance floor with the bride just to have a dance with her, and she's very confused as to why I'm there. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I'm here to bring the party.
Yeah, definitely.
That's one. Skinny dip in the ocean of a naked island, a deserted naked island. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of clothes. I can't. Oh my gosh, I'm sick of it. You guys, my roommates, they'd be like, Rachel, please spare us. No, guys, you're welcome. And the last one will be to travel the world travel Europe again and just taste everything, food writing, food blogging, and eating up the world.
Yeah, definitely. I love all 3 of those. Those all kind of fit in the Rachael Simpson aesthetic that I think you've created. Well, Rachel, I'm going to be honest with you. We had a ton of questions for this episode, and we got through, I think, all of them. So shout out to that, because that does not happen often. First of all, thank you to everyone who sent in questions. Seriously, y'all make the job easy. Thank you to the folks in the chat. Hi, Mom. I know you're watching. Yeah, and seriously, thank you so much, Rachel. Did you have a good time?
I did. Thank you so much for having me and wanting to have me on here. This is super fun, and you're doing a great job with these shows, man. This is super dope. This is super dope.
Well, thank you. Yeah, let me get the top 3 items on your bucket list off. Yeah, seriously, thank you so much, y'all. Please go and check out Rachel's stuff. She's phenomenal. You need to see her stuff. I put her website in the caption for this video, so go check her stuff out. Listen to her podcast, Really Rachel Really, available wherever you listen to podcasts. Speaking of podcasts, be sure to keep up with everything Viter Media's got going. With Black History Month, we're going to be celebrating Black filmmakers this year. So this week we're doing an episode on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom with last week's guest, Nala McCamey. So yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff going on, y'all. So y'all just keep up with it. Seriously, again, thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you, everyone. And until next time, I'm Doug Gooden. She's Rachael Simpson. Go on, raise your glass. We'll toast through the screen. And this has been the tea. Y'all have a phenomenal week.